How's everybody doing?
I am Renita Mitchell.
Raphael Mitchell.
All right, and we are back again with another video. Definitely not a cold case, so we won't call it that. This is a ongoing investigation that is really popular in our area. It's about a trans woman. I don't know what you call it because this is not my area of expertise, but he is a man who dresses as a female. So we're just gonna call him JayLee.
Let's just keep it simple, leave it right there.
Yeah, but I had to explain, but gotcha. I'm gonna insert pictures and you'll understand. So I'm gonna insert pictures here and you'll understand. He was murdered, so we assume, because he has not been found or seen or heard from since July 8th.
Wow.
Right.
Long time.
July 8th, and today is August, whatever.
13th.
Right. Okay, so JayLee was a 20-year-old college student. He attended Ole Miss, University of Mississippi. He was from Jackson, Mississippi. JayLee was very outgoing, very fun, very loving, very popular. Everyone knew who he was. He lived his life out loud. He was not shy about who he was, and he just embraced himself, and most people around him did as well. Seemed like he had a good relationship with his family, and
real good relationship with his mom, at least.
Great relationship with his mom. Which was very crucial in this case. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's start with July 8th.
All right.
July 8th around 2 a.m., JayLee texts his mom and texts her happy birthday. That was the last message that JayLee mom received from him. And around 3 a.m., normally every day that she has to go to work, JayLee calls his mom and they talk on her way to work just to make sure she's safe and just to see, you know, how the day went prior or whatever. That was just their time, 3 a.m. She had to be at work at 4 every day, so they just would talk and transition to work. So at 3 a.m., JayLee's mom did not receive a phone call, so she was a little worried, but not as worried because she had received a 2 a.m. happy birthday call from him. So she received a happy birthday call, and a few hours go by and no JayLee text, no JayLee call. This is uncommon because JayLee and his mom was very close.
Very close, talked every day.
Every day.
Multiple times.
Multiple times, minimum a text. And it's her birthday, so she would just assume that he would be calling a little bit more, and JayLee had not. So she decided to get a wellness check done because this is very uncommon. My mom knows if I don't call or text her back within an hour, she finna be frantic because that's just the relationship we have. I'm gonna always make sure my phone is charged. If I'm going to a place where I might not typically have service, I'm gonna call her and let her know I'm driving through such and such. I'm not gonna have no service if you try to call. Or my phone is going dead. Don't panic. I'm all right. And if she can't get me, who she calling? She gonna call my husband. She gonna call him and be like,
A few weeks ago, she was on the way up here because you was asleep and your phone was outside.
She cut up. I'm looking like, girl, I'm okay, but you know, you just never know. So if that's your routine and people know your routine, it's good to have somebody to go the extra mile to check on you.
That's excellent.
Okay, so
the wellness check.
The wellness check. Police came to do a wellness check, and JayLee's apartment door was
it was open, wasn't it?
It was cracked.
Okay.
His dog was in the house. His car was nowhere to be found, and that's so scary for a mom to hear that. So at this point, she's freaking out, and this is around noon of July 8th.
Okay.
And she's freaking out. So her and her husband decide to drive from Jackson to Oxford, Mississippi, and see for themselves like what is really going on. JayLee always answers his phone. He always responds to us. He wouldn't leave his dog unattended all day, and this is freak out time. Like, she's freaked out. Okay, so still no JayLee for the next couple of days, and by this time they're looking for his car and find out that his car has been towed.
It's been towed
from Marley Bartrell's apartment, and that car was towed prior to the police coming there on prior to the police going to check his home. Okay. It was towed around 10 that morning from Marley Bartrell's apartment. JayLee lived at Campus Walk apartment. So after going through surveillance that morning, they see JayLee leaving his apartment minutes before 6 a.m. And he had on a robe, a bonnet, house shoes, and...
What time was it?
It's 6 in the morning. So
6 in the morning, and he leaves his door cracked.
Yeah.
Leaves his dog. And he's not frantically leaving. He looks like walking normal with just a robe and stuff. Okay.
So I'm just thinking to myself, in college, 6 a.m. What am I doing if I ain't got class? You probably
going to somebody's house.
Headed to a sneaker link, basically. That's where you going. 6 a.m. with a robe on, baby, where you going? Exactly. So, in a bonnet. So, he was headed to wherever. That's what, the video would show. Okay, so, police started checking, when the investigation starts, JayLee is now considered a missing person. They start going through his phone, messages, social media, and they found Snapchat messages between him and someone by the name of Red Eye 24 on Snapchat. So Red Eye 24 on Snapchat is, now that we know, is known as Tim Harrington. Tim is a 22-year-old identified as a 22-year-old straight male, had just graduated from Ole Miss in May. He's a real estate agent now. He owns a moving company, and seems like Tim has a wonderful life.
Doing good for himself.
You already graduated from college at 22. You already have your business. You already dipping and dabbing in real estate. It's only up from here, so it was saying. Okay, so through all that, they released some messages between Tim, straight man, and JayLee, trans woman, man. Okay,
over the messages are not good.
The messages were, I'm going to insert the messages because I don't even want to read them. I went back to go get them and they were deleted. Thank God I screenshot everything. So I screenshot the messages because I figured they weren't supposed to be putting those messages out there to the public so soon when the trial had not even started. So, they, the messages were sexual messages. They were argument,
fighting, fussing,
threatening. They were insinuating that Tim had been to let me stop this. Okay, so I inserted the messages, but they were like saying that Tim had...
I'm about to say, to me, the messages seems like a couple fighting.
That's exactly what it seemed like. It seemed like really like they was in love almost. Yeah. And just having a core, because you can tell that Tim had been at JayLee's apartment earlier in that night, and the messages were around 4-5 a.m. And they were saying, like, you know, it had seemed as though Tim, this is what I got from it, Tim had put his hands on JayLee.
Yeah.
And it might have gotten a little bit too rough. And he was saying, like, you didn't put your hands on me before, but it ain't never been this bad. Now you showing out. You need to chill out. Like, you went too far. They started talking about, like, JayLee had got
sexual
I mean,
stuff.
yeah, and something about smells. Like, ugh. I mean, that graphic to me, because I'm just visualizing and it graphic. But I'll let y'all get into that. Okay, so after these messages have been detained, Tim is now arrested and charged with first degree murder.
So, it is first degree.
You think like it was planned?
That's what I'm thinking.
And the reason he thinking it's planned because when the last few messages JayLee texts on my way to Tim, like he wanted to kind of like make up. And a witness did say that she had talked to JayLee during this time. She was texting JayLee at this time as well, and he was saying that him and Tim had just got into an argument, and he like to go over there and do his thing and make up because so they can just get back on track. And that was those messages with his friend girl, but his message that said on my way. During this time, police seized Tim's laptop and searched. How long does it take to strangle somebody?
That's what he searched. How many days prior?
No, minutes prior.
That was minutes before he went over there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So minutes prior. Now, days prior, he Googled flights from Dallas to Singapore. And Singapore is in like some part of Asia. So I don't know if it's Japan or China, but Singapore is
far from
he out of there. So ain't no way you finna find him no time soon. If that's what the plan, like he could have just been flying out for travel, but we don't know. But it's just weird. Like you Googled how long does it take to strangle somebody, and then go ahead.
My thing, that doesn't necessarily mean murder though, because he could have Googled how long it take to strangle somebody. Said, let's just say hypothetically, say it takes 2 minutes.
Right.
And they're into that kind of stuff in sex.
Okay.
He can strangle them for 1 minute. Because that's far away from killing them. You know what I'm saying? If they're into that. I'm just saying he can use that as a defense.
Well, that's good. I mean, if that's where your lawyer want to play it, I could say
you're gonna have to do something.
Me and JayLee like to get a little rough. Yeah. And I ain't want to go too far, so I just wanted to make sure, we ain't go that far. But it's still very odd that you did that minutes after an argument and minutes before he arrived. That's what you wanted to Google. And he clicked on how long does it take to strangle someone, Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito is a white girl earlier this year that was strangled and murdered by her boyfriend and he left her body just out in the middle of Utah. So that was a very popular story, but it was kind of weird. Like you clicked on that morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, why are you thinking about that?
They haven't found. What kind of evidence do they have on this?
Okay, so evidence that they have is hair
in the apartment. Bodily fluids. Decomposition too, right? The body.
Yeah, they're saying evidence of a dead body. Okay. So I don't know, do that mean decomposition? Probably does, but I don't know if that, in the timeline, it wouldn't seem like that body would be decomposing that quickly. You know what I'm saying? For a dog to pick that up. But mind you, we don't know when he actually moved, if he moved the body, if there is a body, we don't know, because they have not found JayLee. Like, they have no clue where he is. Some people have a clue.
One thing we didn't touch was, since we're talking about the body, they have no body.
Right.
Didn't he have a family friend that's on the funeral home or something like that?
Friend of the family is a owner of a funeral home in Grenada, which is where Tim is from. That morning, Tim drove a box truck that he owns because he has a moving company from Ole Miss to Grenada. I'm not sure the distance, but it's no more than like an hour, I'm sure. Nowhere more, little more or a little less. It's not far away from Ole Miss. And he drove a box truck from here to there, and they have footage of him in Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Buying duct tape.
The
same morning, buying duct tape. They have footage of him looking at garbage cans, like the big rolling garbage cans that they have.
That you can fit a body in.
Yeah, you can fit a body in, or trash. But I don't know if you lived in an apartment, like, why would you even be looking at those garbage cans? Because you can't put those outside. You can't put those outside your apartment. And they don't belong in the house, so it's kind of weird that you will be looking at. He didn't purchase it, but he did look for it. So they have him looking. They have him also running that morning at Marley Bar Trails. Now, this part is really confusing to me because JayLee lived at Campus Walk apartment. Tim lived at Lafayette Place apartment. And they keep mentioning Marley Bar Trails apartment because they have footage of JayLee's car when he left that morning. They have footage of him entering Marley Bar Trails. And they also have footage of Tim 45 minutes later running outside of Marley Bar Trails. Like, that's really confusing because whose apartment is Marley Bar Trails? Like, I don't know. Like, is it just a trail?
Yeah.
But I think I'm seeing a Marley Bar Trail, and I'm also seeing Marley Bar Trails apartment.
It's probably an apartment right by the trail.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So they have footage of him running, like he's a runner. I'm not sure if that's something he does normally, but he ran about 3 miles that morning to the Walmart. And on his way back, he ran to a gas station and got in the car with somebody he known. This is, mind you, this is 7 in the morning. He got into a car with somebody he know, and that car went down the road 3 minutes and got pulled over by the police. Ain't that weird?
I know he would. If he had killed that guy that morning, I know he was scared.
At 7 o'clock in the morning.
No, he was scared.
On a Friday morning, school is out, so town is probably kind of like, you know, bland. And you get pulled up by police after you had possibly committed a murder. I know he was freaking out.
I know he was freaking out.
And they roll the cameras back, and they know for a fact that it was Tim in the passenger side of this car. They don't think that the person had, you know, anything to do with it as of yet. So we don't know, but that person is who took him to get the box truck, to pick up the box truck or whatever. So they have no footage of him in the box truck, but they did go to Grenada, and they found traces of blonde hair and with cadaver dogs, body fluids there as well, and also body decomposition.
At the end of the day, they can't prove it was JayLee's. Right?
Can't prove it was JayLee right now. As far as we know, we don't know. Hair.
Yeah, it's been rented out. It's a wig, right? So
it's probably a wig, but he has hair. He got hair.
Blonde?
Yeah, he dyed it.
He had long blonde hair?
It wasn't long. They didn't say it was long. They just said blonde hair.
Okay.
So we don't know, was it braids? We don't know, was it a wig? He actually has hair. So we don't know if it's his or what, or how much it could be strands. We don't know, but they haven't released that to the public yet. But let's talk about rumors.
Okay.
I
was just, one rumor is family friend took that body at the funeral home and cremated it.
Now,
or he did it.
That is such a stretch to me, because I'm thinking to myself, if my friend's son came to me and was like, listen, I got this body and I need to get rid of it. I need to throw this in the cremation fire, whatever. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if I would do that. Would you do it?
I wouldn't do it. But if I was like in that life, a different person, I still wouldn't do it. However, there's ways around doing it without doing it. You can leave the keys right there and say, hey, I don't know nothing about it. You can leave the door open. You can show them how to do it and say, hey, if this come down, if y'all get caught, I had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways around that. You could left the key there, be like, there's the key, handle business. I had nothing to do with it. Y'all get caught, I'm going to say I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, so that rumor is not far-fetched, because they did pick up the owners of the funeral home and take them in for questioning.
And if they cremate that body, they're not getting that back. I mean, there's no kind of, I don't know what they're going to do about that. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but I don't see how you can get that, finding DNA with that one right there.
Yeah, ain't no DNA after it's burnt up into ashes. Yeah. It's over with. But this is a very strange case. At first, everyone was speculating like, okay, he's trans. We're sure that, he tricked someone into, maybe he went over to Tim's house and, Tim thought it was a female he
found out it was a guy.
Found out it was a guy and they got to fight and then he killed him.
That
happens a lot.
That's what I was thinking. Probably could have happened.
A lot of people thought that until we realized, got the messages, so and they have been messing around for months. So there's no way that he been tricking him. And Tim,
unless he still could have been tricking him within a month if he ain't, Jose, if we say I'm holding out for, I ain't gonna give you, what if you say there's no need to. If I ain't married, I ain't having. You know what I'm saying? What if he went that way? That's possible.
Yeah, but if you're a young guy and you are dealing with a girl these days, they ain't waiting no months.
I feel you.
They ain't waiting months to miss.
Plus the messages let us know. The messages let us know.
Yeah, and Tim admitted to having sexual relations with JayLee. So that part is out the way. So we know that he was messing around with him. But I'm just thinking about this guy. Is young. He's from Grenada, Mississippi. Small town. His dad's a pastor. His grandfather was a pastor. Like, it's no way he could have came out and said he was gay.
He couldn't have said that.
He couldn't have came out and said that and just everybody been cool with it when I don't know why, because there's so many gay people in church. But I feel like he couldn't come out. And if JayLee even said,
but those are not in the messages, right?
About what?
JayLee saying he exposed. No. That's what I was thinking. JayLee could have talking about, I'm gonna expose you, and then he, in a fit of rage, did that. Yeah. I was thinking that too. But looking at the messages makes it seem like they were. It sounded like a relationship.
Yeah, it did. It did. Because to me, a straight man, if you just wanted to mess around with a gay guy, you ain't gonna be having all that conversation. And at the time we found out, now we're finding out that JayLee had blocked Tim the morning after they seemed like they got into an argument. He blocked him. And
that's why he had the name, the other name.
Right. So he went and recreated a new Snapchat at 5 a.m. Like, you into an argument with a gay man and you're a straight man and he block you and you go create a whole nother Snapchat just so you can talk to him and get him to come over, like, because it did seem like JayLee wanted to go over there, because he did. Like, we know that because he texts his friend like, I'm finna go put that thing on him and get him back, because we done got into an argument, so I'm finna go over there. That's what he telling his friend. And his Tim is okay, well, you know, he let him come over. So to me, he lured him over there. If you feel like you found out that he was a man and you don't want to deal with him no more, you ain't finna create another account to say that. Like, you
and
just
call him up.
Yeah, if you block, good. You know, delete him, move on with your life.
Yeah.
But JayLee had no history of outing someone. Like, I'm sure that would have came out by now if he had been messing around with you know, guys. But JayLee is not only a gay man, he's trans. I don't want to say he transitioned to a woman, but he basically is, because that's his physical outlook. On the outside, he looks like a young girl. And to me, they only deal with straight guys because they see themselves as a woman. So if you're a woman, you don't want to deal with a gay man, you know? So if that's the way he sees himself, I don't see him outing, because if you're outing and you see yourself as a woman, what's the out? You know, it's not, you can't out someone if they're a man sleeping with, if you're a woman. You know, if you say you're a woman, you
Unless
are.
you're just trying to embarrass him and ruin his reputation.
Yeah, but if you love somebody, why would you do that? If you love them, why would you do that? If they're, you know, not, they can't, Tim not gonna go out and say, you're this, because you can't tell what he did, because that incriminates you. That makes you look like, oh yeah, you knew what was going on.
This is my question though. Now, I'm not, in Tim's defense, how did they charge him with no body?
That's weird. I never seen that. And speaking of that, Tim's uncle is a once lawyer, now judge in Grenada. I think it's the city of Grenada. And he's very well known in our area. Carlos Moore is a popular name in our area, who is gonna be in the forefront of murder cases. I was looking at his page earlier today, and he get huge settlements. I'm talking about $500,000 up into the $1 million settlements, and all his cases don't always look favorable. They don't always look like the person is innocent. Yeah. Because most times it look like they're not. But he the person that
he got some skills. He got some skills.
He be on some little Lincoln lawyer type stuff.
Didn't he renounce himself from the case?
He was Tim's lawyer immediately, and he went on record saying that, you know, his client was innocent. But days before the hearing, he gone.
He renounced himself.
He gone, and he has a new, I think his name is Horan, Horan. Horan is his new lawyer. So I don't know, but
there's something behind. I mean, there's something. They're doing something. He refused himself from the case, or whatever it's called, and got a new lawyer in there, but he's not.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, hold on, if it's my nephew,
he's not washing his hands clean of it. He's doing something else.
Yeah, this is your nephew, and he's been accused of murder. You might not be the lawyer, but you gonna make sure he got a really good lawyer, and you don't want to have yourself in there for questioning, because if he did something foul, like cremating that body or throwing them in the Mississippi River, I done heard it all. You know.
So they haven't given him bail.
No, they denied his bail. This was August 9th. We assumed this was just a bond hearing to get him bonded out. And it ended up being a preliminary hearing. So we heard from his mom, from JayLee's mom, from Tim's mom, and a few character witnesses. The character witnesses were saying, like, Tim was so smart. He was so motivated. He was a community activist. Like, he was always on the good up and up and up. Like, this is not him. And if you give him bail, he won't run. But you say he won't run, but he already looking at flights to Singapore. So you
can't trust that.
Yeah, and you know, they say his family come from money. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't trust
that. So just sit in there.
I wonder.
Just sit in there and chill out.
I wonder how many cases have been tried without a body. In Mississippi.
Well, Carlos Moore said he ain't never seen it. And he said he been practicing for 20 years. He said he never seen someone get convicted or charged with murder, and there's no body, there's no proof about it, there's no blood.
Peterson, didn't he? The guy.
Scott Peterson.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he get?
Yeah,
did
but
they
I
find the
think
body?
no.
They never found the body.
They never found her body, but I think
he had a girlfriend and all kind of stuff.
The evidence was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
As is this. To me, the evidence is very overwhelming.
I'm gonna say it is, but on the flip side, it's not. They don't really have a smoking gun, because with me, who I am, if I can come up with an answer to everything, I know them lawyers are.
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say he wasn't looking for a trip? He can say, I'm saving up for 5 years. I'm going to Singapore in 5 years. I want to see I'm saving up.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be looking for a flight.
I'm just saying.
If you saving up 5 years.
Yeah, I know. He said we can go there for Christmas, or I was going to buy it in advance, or the body fluids. JayLee been in his house before, so I expect there's going to be fluids
and
there and hair,
and they could have been having sex in the box truck.
Yeah, so you never
can be done, babe. I'm telling you, Tim can play this thing like we was into some kinky stuff.
We been into choking and I mean, so
that's what we like. So that's what we did.
So there is to make sure I ain't want to gun. There is a smoking gun, but there's not, because for everything that they're showing us so far, they're showing us.
Long story short,
he can refute it.
This case can go either way.
It can.
It honestly can. If Tim has a good enough lawyer, it's reasonable doubt. You know, I can see it, but I think he's guilty. But I don't know. He look guilty.
With the evidence showing like that, he looks guilty. I think it could have been he didn't want to come out, as a homosexual.
I know he didn't.
He didn't want that to be known about him. It could have been. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it could have been, and he killed the guy.
Yeah.
But they need some more proof.
Yeah. And I think the proof is out there. I think Tim was so freaked out, he told somebody. Because he don't seem like the type, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't seem like... And then maybe they could talk to exes, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you with a man or a woman. If you're an abusive person, you're an abusive person. Yep. You just have a abusive spirit. So it's going to come out in friendships, you know what I'm saying? Everything. So let's just... I don't know. We praying for the family.
Let's pray for both. We're praying for both families.
Yeah, for both families. It got to be hard on both sides, because honestly, both moms are losing the child.
Yeah, regardless. We're praying for both families. And what I'm praying, we're praying for justice to be served.
Right, whichever way it go.
Regardless, justice to be served. Because at the end of the day, JayLee's dead and gone.
If he's dead and gone.
If he's dead and gone.
Child, they even said... JayLee over there in Singapore
waiting for him.
Waiting for
he better show up, because this dude's locked up now. If he is in Singapore, he better show up.
Yeah. But if everybody in the world think you dead, child, stay where you at.
Yeah. Pray for both families, for comfort for both families, and justice to be served. Because that's one young man gone, and then Mr. Tim, if he's found guilty, that's another young man gone with a bright future. Black man that graduated from college and had a great future ahead of him. So we pray for both families.
Right. All right, you guys. I'm going to insert a little more clips and videos that I have now. So we're out of here. Peace, you guys. We'll be back with another case.
God bless.
Bye.